Well, despite recently hitting 23-month highs over the past couple of days, we've seen prices for wheat futures drop by 5.3% on speculation that farmers will increase planting and on reassessment that stockpiles are sufficient to meet demand. So, will we see stability return to the wheat sector, or will there be further volatility around the price? For more on what we can expect to see, I'm joined by Jonathan Barratt from Commodity Broking Services. Jonathan Barratt, welcome to Business Today.
Good morning, Whitney.
So, despite the recent price boom, wheat has pulled back. Is that because the market's been spooked by such a rapid rise?
Yes, I think the market, Whitney, is just really coming to terms with that 62% increase. So, if anything, I think the market's just really looking at where prices are at the moment.
So, is this investors just taking profits, though, in light of the boom?
Look, it's just, yes, we have seen some profit taken, there's no doubt about it. But we've also seen some of the smart money, some of the hedgers, actually coming into the market, because when you look at such a large increase in the price of the commodity, it's also a good opportunity to hedge. So speculators taking profit and hedgers re-emerging.
So would you say that this is sort of like what we saw with oil a couple of years ago, that there will be quite a bit of volatility for quite some time and that prices may spike again?
Look, I think that's going to be the hard thing to really think about. Because the volatility is there, it's not like the volatility we had in 2007 when prices went from 400 to 1200. Prices have gone from 400 to 700. So, if anything, I think the volatility is there, but I think there is definitely a floor in place.
All right. Now, we've seen some news or commentary out of India. If India decides to cancel wheat orders from Australia, how concerning will that be for farmers?
I don't think it's going to be too concerning at all, Whitney. India is not in the top league in terms of importers, so I don't think it's too much of a worry at all, particularly for our local farmers.
So, given that demand is outstripping supply, that would be quickly absorbed by another buyer then?
Oh, I think definitely. I mean, there's no doubt about it. When you are in a region where you've got supply constraints, you'll always find buyers for foodstuffs, in particular wheat.
All right, and also one of the other interesting parts of this story is to go to the supply-demand problem, is that many buyers seem to not have secured enough advance requirements. What do you say about that? Look,
that has been, I think, a big point as to why wheat has moved up so rapidly. We all got complacent with wheat and world ending stocks, where wheat was around about $400 US a bushel. And because we've seen this supply crunch happen, prices have gone up. So you might see the price of wheat actually level off. But buyers haven't been in there long enough and they've been complacent about their orders that you might find spikes continue if, in fact, we have problems with weather and things like that.
So will this also spark new trends into how people or companies, investors, buy wheat for the future?
Well, yes, I think when we look at it, we always look at the spot and the forward prices. In this case, most people always bought off the spot prices because prices were so low. Now I think people have to, and companies have to plan a little bit more and take into consideration that the volatility is going to be with us for some time. And I think it will be with us with some time. All we've got to do is look at what's happening in the weather, and the weather is causing those concerns and supply hiccups.
We've also seen that Russia has imposed this ban on wheat exports until the end of the year. That could be considered much-needed good news for US wheat producers, couldn't it?
Oh, I think 100%. The US is currently standing on 20-year highs of stockpiles, and they're looking for another good crop. So I think as the US is the number one exporter, I think there'll be a lot of farmers over in the US actually smiling and clapping their hands, believe it or not.
And we've also seen Rabobank has revised downward its forecast for Australian wheat producers. So what sort of effect will that have?
Well, I think it's going to be interesting because we basically divide the wheat market into the eastern seaboard and the western seaboard. And the western seaboard, particularly Western Australia, have had it good for so long, and they're actually coming into a bit of a drought concern. We actually suggest that they'll probably lose about 25 to 30% of their production this year. But on the eastern seaboard, it's going to be quite positive because we've been in drought for such a long time. It'll be, I think, one of the best things for us to have a good crop at good prices, and that's where we're heading at the moment. So I think it's just moving towards the west to the east to the west, but at the moment, the east is in favour.
Okay, and of course we've also seen recent consolidation between AWB and GrainCorp. Is this a sign of things to come?
Winnie, I think that's a bit of a contentious issue at the moment for us, because you're basically putting in control a company that controls 55% of the market from freight, storage and handling. So I think there's going to be a little bit of the potential for monopoly being created there, so I'm just a little bit concerned, but let's see what happens.
All right, Jonathan Barratt, we'll have to leave it there, but thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Whitney.